Hello everybody, thank you for coming to this week's video blog here at California Realty Training. My name is Robert Rico, hoping to bring some great information for you that you can take on to your career, make some money, because I know we all want to make some. Hey, listen, today's topic, not a big deal. Today's topic is how important is a credit score when it comes to buying a house? Is it important? Well, it actually really is important, and I'll explain that in a minute. When it comes to getting a house, most buyers don't have all cash. They shop around and they say, I'd like to buy that house. Well, they need a loan. Most buyers don't carry around $1 million or $700,000 or $500,000 to buy a house cash. So what do they need? They need to go get a loan. This is the deal. When it comes to getting a loan, you visit a bank. Bank says, hey, how you doing, Mr. Buyer? Would you like a cup of coffee? Yeah, I want a cup of coffee. You have a cup of coffee, you chat with the lender, with the loan officer, you start chatting. They're gonna start asking you a few questions. They wanna make sure that you qualify for a loan. They wanna make sure that you can get pre-approved for a loan. You tell the lender, the loan officer, hey, Mr. Loan Officer, hey, Mr. Lender, this is good coffee. And by the way, how much money do I make? You know what? I make $1 million a year. There should be no problem for me getting a loan, right? I'm making $1 million a year. Then the lender asks them, well, how long have you been at your job? Well, I've been at my job for 10 years. Well, that's great. So you make good money and you've been at your job for a long time. That's pretty solid. Then the lender says, hold on a minute. We want to make sure that your financial character is good. We want to make sure that your financial character, we want to make sure you have a good financial history. So what do? That's right, they run your credit report. And on that credit report, you're going to have 3 agencies that are going to give you a score. Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And they're going to give you a score. It's different. You may get a 700 from one, a 725 from another, and then a 729 from another. So you get a 700, 725, and 729. And what the lender does is they pick the one that falls in the middle, and that's your FICO score. So if it's 700, 725, and 729, which one would be your FICO score? That's right, they're going to use the one that falls in the middle. In this case, it would be 725. They don't just use Experian, they don't just use Equifax, they don't just use TransUnion, they use all 3, and the one that falls in the middle, the score that falls in the middle is the one that's going to be used. Now, why is that important? That's hugely important. Ready? Because lenders, when they provide the loans, these loans are on a, what we call, they're based on a formula, on the lender's formula. Now, what does that mean? It means if you want to get this certain loan, let's talk about FHA loan. If you want to qualify for an FHA loan, you must have a minimum 580 FICO score to have a 3.5% down payment loan. Most people who want to buy a house, first-time home buyers, they go for the FHA loan. Why? Because it's only 3.5% down payment if you have a 580 minimum FICO score. What if you have a 575? That's so close. What if you have a 575 that's so close to the 580? Can't they just give you the loan? No, they can't. Because the criteria is a 580 FICO score. So the question here is this: is a FICO score important? It's crucial. And if you fail by 1 point, you don't get that loan. Well, then how can we raise our points immediately? How can we raise our score quickly so that we do qualify? Let's assume you want a certain loan and you got to have that, well, the FHA loan, you got to have that 580 FICO score, and you're like, doggone it, I got a 579. How can I raise it by 1? How can I raise it by 1 point? How can I get these 3 credit agencies that they can, that they will help me by raising it 1 point? You speak to the loan officer, the lender. It's going to offer you a cup of coffee. You accept it, and you chat, and you say, hey, Mr. Lender, Mr. Loan Officer, how can I get my FICO score up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points so that I do qualify for this loan? And they're going to analyze your situation. They're going to look at your FICO, at your credit report, and they're going to look at all your debts that you've had in the past on, and they may recommend that you, hey, look here, back 3 years ago you had a cellular phone bill you never paid, and that might be giving you a negative report on your whole FICO situation. Hey, he might recommend go pay this one off. Go pay this one little old debt that you've never bothered with. Go pay it off. We'll do what's called a rapid rescore. We'll run your credit again quickly. After they've changed on the 3 credit bureaus, after they've changed that you've paid off that one little bill, they may change their scores. And if they change their scores just this much, it might be just enough for you to get that 580 to get your loan. You get the loan, you get the house. Hope that makes sense. Is a credit score important? That's right. Because the lenders, those are their qualification standards. But that FICO score is extremely important. Hope you learned something today about FICO scores and how important they are. And don't forget to subscribe to our video blogs. They're great. We want to bring great education to you to make you a greater realtor. If you have any questions or topics you want us to discuss, do yourself a favor and us a favor. Leave them down there in the comment section. Have a great day. Hope to see you next week.